how are you? So it is Monday, the 20th of July 2020, which means the reading rush has officially began a couple of hours ago, in fact, but I was asleep. So I'm going to slowly try and wake up. I think I'm going to start with reading The Blind Side by Michael Lewis. It's about 330 pages long, but I got a feeling it's going to be pretty dense because I know nothing about American football. But it covers the book that begins with the book that I've already seen the movie for, and the book that's on a different continent because it's in North America and I'm in Europe. So I think I'm going to try and get like 30 odd, maybe 50 pages in today is my aim.
So I started The Blind Side and I got to chapter 3, which is about 44-45 pages in. So this book is not quite what I expected. It's not bad, it's just not what I expected. So it's very much, the first 2 chapters have literally been about the history of American football and nothing about Michael Orr yet. I remember at the beginning of the film The Blind Side, there's like a 2 to 3 minute monologue about American football, and it is in the book, word for word. It's the first paragraph of the book. What happens is that monologue evolves into 2 whole chapters. The history of the left side tackle. Can we tell I don't know what I'm saying? Basically, a lot of information about American football has just been kind of put into my brain, and I'm not sure where to file it or what to do with it. I've been listening to it on audiobook, but I did also get the physical copy because I know that this has pictures of Michael Orr in it, and I wanted to see the family and be able to put faces to the people that I'm reading about. But I need a rest because that was a lot. No idea what to do with this information. The first day of Instagram challenges. Let's see if I can do this. Today it's recreate a book cover. This was a video challenge like 2 reading rushes ago, so I'm stealing my old idea because apparently I have no new ideas. Also, I'm limited with what I have in the house. And I'm recreating Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda book cover because I have a black jumper, I have a stripy top, I have jeans, I have a red towel. So this is what I'm currently doing. Alright, what do we think? Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda versus... Can I get it in the screen? Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. It might need some moving about. Roughly. Maybe. So it's the end of day 1 of the reading rush. I managed to get about 103 pages into The Blind Side. The next 2 chapters in this book were about Michael's life, so I found that really interesting, which means that I got to fill in my reading rush journal. I don't think I've shown you this yet. The reading rush did a journal which is beautiful and lovely, and I wanted to buy it as merch, but I couldn't get it shipped here to the UK in time. But what they did do is make a PDF version. So I bought that and downloaded it, put that into a notebook that I made out of an old beaten up hardback, which was a Tudor tragedy. And what I did was make this into a notebook but keep all the bits, like the nice interesting bits about the book. So there was this London? Yeah, so there's a map of London. This is the journal that I've stuck in. I put a little pouch in so I can remember stuff. First couple of pages. And so because first day is now over, I got to fill in day 1's journal. So I read The Blind Side, and the pages that I read, 47 and 60. But my thoughts on the book so far, what I plan on reading tomorrow, so on and so forth. So I'm kind of enjoying getting to read this and getting to stick like little memorabilia bits in the challenges as I go along. Day 2 of the reading rush, and I only went and finished a book. I finished The Blind Side by Michael Lewis last night because I didn't sleep because painsomnia. Yes, fun. So I can now move on to The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare, and if this carries on, I'm going to need more books. Day 2 of Instagram challenge was to cosplay as a character from a book. So I picked Stargirl from the book Stargirl, funny enough, by Jerry Spinelli? I can't pronounce his last name. It recently came out as a sort of movie TV series on Disney Plus. So I have hat, dangly earrings, rainbow, stripy, and I don't know if it comes up in the picture I just took, but I also have on stripy socks and glittery Doc Martens. Could I be any stripier? I kind of want to wear this for the rest of the day. This is sort of a look. Okay, so technically it's now day 3 of the reading rush because it's 1:30 in the morning. I don't know what's going on with me and the reading rush. But even when it was the booktubeathon, I think I'm slightly cursed because I get sick every time. Something happens. I get some kind of... at the moment, it's pain. So if you've never seen my videos before, and this is the first time you've come across me, I have multiple different chronic illnesses, and a lot of them deal with pain. And sometimes it's fine, and sometimes it's not so great. And today and yesterday, it's just been a complete douchebag. I have not moved from this frigging sofa, hardly. So basically, I read another book. I read The Dust Is Still by Tessa Dare today. I listened to it on audiobook, same difference. Because it was really good. This is the first Mills and Boon book I've ever read in my life. It covers... Actually, I think it only covers one of the challenges, which is to read something you want to read more of, or read a genre you don't read a lot of. And I've never really read... I read some romance, but I've never read like a Mills and Boon romance. I think at this point I'm going to call it /soft porn, because there's some definite pornographic stuff in there, and it was funny. To be honest, the sex scenes were alright. You're just like, okay, get you some, but it was the rest of it. Oh man, it's just, you have a seamstress who made a wedding dress for a woman who was going to marry a duke, and they call off the wedding, so she turns up at his house and demands to be paid for the dress. And she's wearing the wedding dress, so she's just like, I want to be paid for this dress. And he's just like, I'll pay for it if you take it off. She's like, 2 can play at this game, mate, and they're flirting with each other, and then they make a deal. Then he's going to marry her because he needs to marry somebody because he needs an heir, and he's just like, well, she's game. And it's just the flirting and the stupidity of it. And his name is Ashbury. And she doesn't like calling him that. So she keeps thinking up pet names that he hates. It's like, darling, Schnookums. To me, that was the best part. And then there's a butler who's just like, you're an idiot, sir. No offence, but don't fire me. But you're an absolute douchebag. I genuinely enjoyed this book. It's going to be my 5-star book for this readathon. I think it was 6 hours long, and it definitely killed some pain there. So thumbs up for Tessa Dare and the Duchess deal. I'm thinking I might read more of Tessa Dare's books now, because that woman knows how to write sass. So we're now on day 3. I've only got 1 book left on my TBR, which I want to read during my virtual reading. So I'm going to have to add a book. I'm going to add Hank Green's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing to my TBR. Editing Shelley here. Next time you decide to make a video at like 1 o'clock in the morning, make sure you get the name of the book right. That was A Beautiful Foolish Endeavour, not An Absolute Remarkable Thing. Thank you! Being that it's 15 hours long on Audible? My voice is going. Okay. So being that it's 15 hours long, I hope that it gets me through the rest of the readathon. I'm tempted to go for 7 books now. We shall see. This one's been a bit of a ramble, but yes, I have not had enough sleep. I am in a great deal of pain. I need to lie down and nap again, so I'm going to go listen to Hank Green and see how far we get through this tonight. So day 3 of the reading gush, I am once again on the sofa, exhausted today, but I've gone through about 110 pages of A Beautifully Foolish Endeavour, not to be mistaken with An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird day, reading wise. I'm just a bit out of it today. Did the Instagram challenge, but forgot to film me doing it. The challenge was to take a photo of the book you're reading with a pet, and I can barely look after myself, so a pet would be a bad idea. So I used my very big cuddly toy Stitch, because he's the kind of pet I would have, really. A mutant mad pet. But yeah, I think I'm gonna probably call it a day because I'm too tired and the story isn't going into my brain and I want it to. So, end of day 3, pretty quiet, need more sleep. Okay, day 4 of the reading rush. Yesterday was a bit of a write-off, I wasn't very well. But I did manage to read about 150 pages of A Beautiful Foolish Endeavour by Hank Green, which I added to my TBR. How do I talk about this without giving away spoilers? Because the book is basically one big spoiler of the first one. It's a continuation of his first book. An absolutely remarkable thing. An absolute remarkable thing ended on a cliffhanger. This one took 150 pages to address that cliffhanger. I was waiting ages. I was sat on that sofa just going, we've been left on a cliffhanger. What the hell? So be patient with this book. I think it's something I would have liked to know going in. But yeah, so my plan is today to keep reading this, and then I am doing a live read-in tonight, a virtual read-in on YouTube, which I'm going to read Second Best Friend by Non Prax. It's a pretty short book. I'm going to try and chill between now and then because I'm still not right. Something is going on with the body that is not supposed to. So I'm going to sit here, listen to more of this. Yes, let's see how this goes. So today's Instagram challenge is take a photo of a book with a matching background. I've taken Secrets from the Mad by Dodie, which I read a couple of months ago, possibly last month, and it hit all of my brain cells. And I'm painting a background, so I'm going to paint like a grey background with daisies and then take a photo. What? Nap. All of the nappage, please. Moving on. And there it is, done. Dodie with her grey background and little flowers. So that is day friggin' hell 4 Instagram.
Welcome to the virtual reading. Like I know what I'm doing. I'd love to know what everybody's going to read this evening / this afternoon / whatever time it is wherever you are.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high, masquerading as a man with a reason. My charade is the event of the season, and if I claim to be a wise man, it surely means I don't know. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Carry on.
Welcome to day 6 at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't need sleep right now. I mean, why would I want to sleep when I could be awake and in pain? I'm going with it at this point. I give up. There's no controlling my body. It wants to be awake and in pain. It means I'm getting a lot of reading done. I started this week with 3 books on my TBR. I added a 4th, the really, really big Hank Green book. Finished it. So that's 4 books down now. I could go for 3 more and go for the 7. So I'm thinking 2 Post Secrets books that I haven't read in ages, And then I know there is a book club book that I've now completely forgotten the name of. Such a Fun Age. If I read that, then I read 7 books and I get to finish all of the badges on the Reading Rush. The Reading Rush website, there's all these badges, and apparently I'm going for it this year. If I'm going to be awake, in pain, COVID is going to screw up my mental health, I'm going to be isolated from everybody I want to cuddle, I've had enough. So I'm going to at least accomplish this. My head is a mess. The mental health is definitely a thing during COVID, and mine has just gone, right, well, you can't do anything else, so let's at least go for all of the badges on the Reading Rush. I just slowly lose the plot every single year. I mean, I don't know. So this is the very important part of the Reading Rush, where we all have to make the decision. Do we keep reading? Or do we get distracted and watch The Kissing Booth 2 on Netflix? Oh, it's so tempting to just get distracted for a bit. We'll see. I'm one post-secret book down already. And I'm about to start the next one, which is the really, really big one. So this one's going to take me a while. Excuse the shaky camera. I seem to have a tremor in my right hand. So I finished Hank Green's A Beautiful, Foolish Endeavour. I have so many thoughts on this book. I don't even know if I can review it properly because of the amount. It's a look at how we deal with social media today. It's a look at society today. It's a look at future tech and how it could change us, and do we want it to, and what our lives could become, what our lives are now. Amazon, Apple, all of the things that I don't have the words to articulate. Smarter brains or more articulate brains than me will give you a better review of it. But I think these 2 books that Hank Green has done are modern classics. I think they're important reads, and what is the vocabulary I'm looking for? They're just important. And they're amazing, and the story is strong, and the characters are strong, and there is a monkey and a potato plant, and I now want a potato plant just so I can carry it around and call it a name. Anyway, moving on. I also read Second Best Friend by Non Pratt, which I have read before, which is about a conversation between being popular and keeping your best friend. So if your best friend is more popular than you, do you drop the friend to try and become more popular and, fight against them? Or do you put your friendship first? Non Pratt writes really, really interesting books about friendship. So yeah, 2 post-secrets and Such a Fun Age to be read, or The Kissing Booth. It's Saturday. It's another Instagram challenge, and today's challenge is to make artwork with books in an Art Attack sort of way. If you're from the UK, you know what Art Attack is. Being that we're in the middle of a pandemic and the NHS need all the support we can give them, and so on, and the fact that I have just read a book called Dear NHS, 100 Stories to Say Thank You. I'm going to take all of my blue books and try and spell out NHS in some way. I hope I have enough books. Does that read NHS? Because it could look like NNS. I've got to fiddle with that N, I think. Maybe when I'm higher up, you'll be able to see the N better. But hopefully that says NHS. I'm going to have to get higher, aren't I? Oh, this is tricky. This is why you need an able-bodied person to do this. I need help, damn it. Yikes. So I've just finished my 7th book, which was Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. I don't know how to review this book because there's a lot to unpack. I mean, yeah, how do I even unpack that? It basically revolves around Amira, who is a babysitter for I'd call it privileged white family, who goes to the grocery store one evening with the child that she's babysitting, and a security guard comes over and says, "Excuse me, is this your child?" Amira is black and obviously the child is white, and the security guard will let her leave. It all kicks off. It's recorded on video. Amira wants it to be just left alone. She just wants to carry on with her life. She doesn't want it to be brought up ever again. The family think otherwise and start to manipulate Amira's life. And a guy she meets starts manipulating Amira's life. And they all want her to be something she isn't. And she's just trying to figure out how to be her. And, I mean, what I took out of it mainly is manipulation, man. They were all trying to make her be the version of herself that they wanted her to be, instead of the version that she wanted to be. A lot like Beautifully Foolish Endeavour. Better minds than me can review that, but it was a lot. But I'm really, really glad that I went with the book club book and that I read it. It does mean that I've now read 7 books. So I did the maths. I used a calculator. I've read 7 books, 2,219 pages, 7 reading challenges, 7 Instagram challenges, 17 badges on the Reading Rush website. That was the week that was the Reading Rush. Oh, and a live virtual reading. This is the most I think I've ever been involved in the Reading Rush, and I've got to say I really friggin' enjoyed it. It's been a lot of stress. It's been less about the books for a while and more about my mental health, so there's that. But this is why I read, because it helps with my mental health. I can get lost in reading and not have to think about my own brain, and it's another reason why I appreciate the Reading Rush so much, because you get to connect with other people and talk about books and talk about your experiences while reading these books, because my experience reading A Beautifully Foolish Endeavour or Such a Fun Age are going to be completely different to somebody else's experiences reading it, and it's nice to kind of find the differences, and that's what I've really enjoyed about this Reading Rush. That was the Reading Rush 2020. Thank you for making it to the end of this video if you've done that. Thank you for being a part of the Reading Rush, for those who came to the live, for those I've talked to on the forums and on Instagram and everybody else. I'm very, very grateful. Comment down below, what did you read this year? Did you take part in any of the challenges? What were your favourites? Things like that. I would love to know. Also, if you've made a vlog, hit me up. I'll go watch it, because that's what my next week is going to be. It's just going to be watching other people's vlogs, because I love to know what people are reading and what people think. So, again, thanks for watching. And when it comes to Reading Rushes, I'll see you next year. But when it comes to videos, I might take a break next week. But other than that, I will see you guys soon. Bye.